Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So what I like to do is kind of go over, what are the basic steps for combining complex numbers. Now, first of all, what we need to do is when looking at complex numbers, we need to understand complex numbers in the form of a plus bi, where here is our real and here is our imaginary component of our complex number. Okay. Now, basically, let's first start. It's just how are we going to combine? And when I'm talking about combining, I'm talking about adding and subtracting. How are we going to combine the imaginary part? Because we know how to do the real part, right? Real is 3 plus 5, which we know is 8. However, how do we complete the imaginary? Well, we're going to combine the imaginary just like we would combine, if we were doing the variables. If I had 3x plus 5x, we would combine them by combining our coefficients and leaving our variable as our variable factor. So therefore, this would be 8x. Now, even though I is not a variable, it represents the imaginary unit, which we talked about. So we're just going to add our coefficients again, which would be 8i. However, now let's talk about, well, what about if I have two imaginary numbers, a plus bi plus c plus di? Or let's look at 5 plus 6i plus 2 plus 3i. Okay, now when combining imaginary numbers, basically what we're going to do is add the reals and then add the imaginaries. And that's basically all you're doing. You're grouping the imaginary or you're grouping the real. Okay, just like the kind of think about like terms. If I had 3x plus 2y plus 5x plus 7y, we're only going to combine the terms that we can combine. Right? So we can only combine 2y plus the 7y. So I would combine the parts that I can. So the same thing here. I'm only going to combine the a and the c and the bi and the di. So in this example, I'll do 5 plus 2 plus 6i plus 3i. Well, 5 plus 2 is 7. 6i plus 3i is 9i. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to work exactly the same when doing subtraction. Just make sure you're careful with subtraction that you're carrying over. For instance, if I now rewrite this as subtraction, so 5 plus 6i minus 2 plus 3i. Remember, now I'm doing 5 minus 2 plus 6i minus 3i. So just make sure you're very careful with the negative sign, because in this one you'd have 6 plus 3i. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is just kind of a brief overview of how to combine your complex numbers. Thanks.